Welcome to the Register's Report. My name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds for Plymouth County. I want to give a big shout out to Keith Hughes here at the local scene for helping me put this show together. This show is being taped in July, a beautiful July day here in Plymouth, and we're going to be talking about the recordings for the month of June at the Registry of Deeds. So the first number we always go to, and you're going to see a bar chart for deeds. We had a surprising month in June. We had 827 deeds recorded, more than the 598 for May. Last year we recorded 719 deeds, so that's a pretty good bump in a relatively soft market. It's a 15% year-to-date increase over last June. And our average sale price continues to be at a very high level, $724,410. The next image you're going to see is a bar chart of mortgages. Mortgages have been running higher than deeds. There were 1,477 mortgages recorded in June, more than the 1,238 mortgages in May. Year to date, the 7,468 mortgages recorded are higher than the 6,644 last year, up 12% year to date. We always follow foreclosure issues. Not everyone remembers the meltdown in 2008, but there were a lot of problems in the mortgage market back then. A lot of people were refinancing multiple times, found themselves underwater, and faced great difficulty holding onto their homes. So we always track those very closely. However, they're very low numbers. There was a moratorium in place during COVID, and the numbers have never really gone up. Only 7 foreclosure deeds in June compared to 5 foreclosure deeds in May. Year to date, they're down 13%. A foreclosure deed is when a lender usually has taken back a property for failure to pay, lost income, whatever it is, the title changes back to the lender. The next issue you're going to see, item you're going to see that we record, foreclosure notice, identifies someone who's in trouble. We'll hire number of foreclosure notices in June, 37, higher than the 28 in May. However, year-to-date foreclosure notices, 202 versus 239 last year, so they're less by about 15%. If you're facing difficulty paying your mortgage, I strongly advise you to reach out to a federal housing counselor, somewhere like NeighborWorks. They don't charge you, but they can help you try to modify your loan, try to keep you in your house. What I can tell you is the longer you wait, if you get shy about it or just failure to take action, you're going to find yourself in great difficulty, because many times foreclosure notices lead to foreclosure deeds. However, you can see in the listing that we have here, the foreclosures in orders of notice for the 27 communities in Plymouth County, alphabetically from Abington to Whitman. There are still a lot of zeros. Brockton's showing some difficulties. Usually it's Brockton, Plymouth, and Wareham, but right now the Brockton numbers stand out. I strongly advise everyone that owns property to be vigilant about your ownership. There are a lot of people out there that will try to take advantage of you for your asset. And for most people, their home is their most valuable asset. So we run a free property fraud alert program at the Registry of Deeds here in Plymouth. If you go to our website, PlymouthDeeds.org, that's PlymouthDeeds.org, and go to our resource section, you can sign up for this fraud alert, put your name in, your email, and anything that gets recorded against your name, you'll get an email. Now, if your name is John Smith, you're going to get a lot of them. We had a person last week that couldn't understand that because his name was Matthew Cullinane, that there could be a lot of other Matthew Cullinanes. He got a notice, but it wasn't his property. It was a Matthew Cullinane somewhere else. But it's a very good way to protect your interest. It's free. Again, anything that's free that can help you is a good thing. So go to our website, PlymouthDeeds.org, as thousands of other people have done. Put your name and your email in, and anything recorded against your name, you receive an email, and you can check whether you're the right person that it was recorded against. And it could be something harmless, like a discharge of a loan, but if it's not, you want to be aware of it. Again, for somebody that owns a home, many people will try to take advantage of your ownership. There are also groups out there that'll try to get you to pay a lot of money for a copy of your deed. You can go to one of our 3 offices, Brockton, Plymouth, and Rockland, get one for $1 a page, or call our customer service, 508-830-9200, and they can help you get a copy of your deed for about $5, and they'll send it to you. So we always do a lighter section in the next part of our show. We always talk about some of our county and usually some Plymouth colony history. This time we have a very interesting 3 county records as well as a county law. Edward Rowe Snow was a well-known author and historian from Marshfield. He wrote over 100 books, stories of shipwrecks, storms, pirates, all throughout New England. But he's most famous for being a flying Santa. Santa Claus had great difficulty getting to the Harbor Islands. So Edward Rowe Snow would have a plane go up in the air and drop the gifts off at the lighthouses and the island keepers to their children. And he was a preservationist and a lover of the Harbor Islands, as well as the lighthouse keepers. Many people credit him with saving Fort Warren. In 2000, a plaque dedicated to him was put on George's Island in recognition of his preservation efforts of the island. And his name came up for the next notable record we're going to talk about. Many people know that there's a lighthouse as you enter Plymouth Harbor. A lot of people don't know the story of that lighthouse. It is Gurnet Light on the point of Gurnet as you enter Plymouth Harbor. It is a lighthouse built authorized by the legislature in 1768. It was a twin lighthouse originally, built on the land of John and Hannah Thomas. So John and Hannah Thomas took care of that light, and when John Thomas went off to fight in the Revolutionary War, he passed away, and his wife Hannah was named as the first female lighthouse keeper in America. During the Revolutionary War, the towns of Duxbury, Plymouth, and Kingston erected a fort on that site. Thankfully, never had to be used. And it is a place you can visit. Oftentimes, they have open houses, but it is a place that is a great place to visit. And on many days, you can climb that lighthouse. There was a story in the paper recently that ownership of that property was transferred to the Gurnett Light Foundation, as well as the Bug Light Foundation, and it's cared for by them for years. But the Project Gurnett and Bug Light now are the owners of that property. We have a great series of beaches here in Plymouth County. A lot of our communities are on the Atlantic Ocean or Buzzards Bay. Duxbury Beach is certainly something I mentioned. You passed over Duxbury Beach if you go into the lighthouse. Duxbury Beach is a beautiful white sand 6-mile barrier beach owned by the Duxbury Beach Reservation, a nonprofit. Access to the beach is achieved over the wooden Powder Point Bridge or Gurnett Road. It serves as a recreational, scenic conservation area, and it's a natural breakwater for the towns of Duxbury, Kingston, and Plymouth. Duxbury Beach and its adjacent salt marshes have a lot of wildlife and is very well protected. There were many opportunities over the years that developers were looking to do things. There's a great book about Duxbury Beach, if you ever have a chance to look at it, that tells the story of those developers. But thankfully, it is still a wonderful place to visit in the summer and year-round. If you actually get out there in the fall, it's beautiful too. And by their continued vigilance by the present owner, continues to be one of Plymouth County's most wonderful places. Now, a little different twist on our last record. We have done a Plymouth Colony record since the 2020 anniversary of Plymouth Colony several years ago. But this month, in celebration of the 250th anniversary of America, and many people will remember that only happened because of the Declaration of Independence and the Revolutionary War. And a lot of those stories were told. And there's a lot of Plymouth County connections to those days. But this record, which was in 1783, was a piece of property owned in Middleborough. And it was owned by a judge. The judge at the time was a member of the communities that still supported England during the Revolutionary War. They were called Loyalists or Tories. And in this particular case, Peter Oliver, a judge, well-known person in Middleborough, supported the British to his peril, because after the Revolutionary War, the Massachusetts government and governments all around America went and did confiscations of their properties. And this is the record of taking back that land that was Mr. Oliver's and converting it into the Commonwealth as money. So there's all kinds of stories that came on behalf of America in the celebration of America. But many times in war, when you're on the wrong side of the war, bad things can happen, and this is an example of that. I want to thank Greg White, Liz White from my office for their help in putting this show together. I want to thank again Keith Hughes and the folks here at the local scene for letting me tell the story about Plymouth County real estate and some of our history. So I hope you have a great August coming up, finalizing the month of July, and we'll see you in August. Take care.